We question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Get the queries off your chest with Ahkam SOS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. MashaAllah, we've reached the 6th of Ramadan. We're almost a quarter of the way through the holy month. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your amal, all of your deeds, inshallah. This is a live show. We do take in your questions. So if you have any questions in regard to Islamic fiqh, please send them in via the WhatsApp, the email address ahkamsos@imamhussein.tv. Or alternatively, give us a call here in the studio, +44 203 515 0199. Inshallah, me and the Sheikh will be able to discuss and answer your questions. I'm your host, Mohsin Shah, and joining me is Sheikh Ali Maash. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing this evening?
Alhamdulillah, taqabbalallahu alaikum.
Minna minkum, inshallah, Sheikhna. Sheikhna, when it comes to the holy month of Ramadan, we are told that this is one of the most, bountiful months in regards to barakah and in regards to rizq, and also the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my first question is, Sheikhna, that during this month, how does one ask for mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how does one supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this holy month and ask forgiveness for their sins?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. We continue with the prophetic sermon with this regard to answer your question, inshallah. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his sermon for the forthcoming of the month of Ramadan, he mentions that فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ بِنِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرَةٍ أَنْ يُوَفِّقَكُمْ لِصِيَامِهِ وَتِلَاوَةِ كِتَابِهِ. Ask Allah your Lord in sincere intention. So number one, you make sure that you have this sincere intention. And pure hearts, number two. So we need for this holy month, in order to be able to fast and recite the holy book, to have sincere intention and pure hearts to enable you to fast during this holy month and to recite his holy book, Allah's Azza wa Jal, the words and the book of Quran. So we need basically to, again, for the first day we mentioned, to purify ourselves, tathhir al-nafs, tazkiyat al-nafs, in order to be able to welcome this blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the fasting, which is the Holy Quran, the Ad'iyah. Being in this holy month by itself is a blessing, that you are living in this day and age, and you are actually in this holy month, being alive, basically. Yes. Many people died just before the holy month of Ramadan. Now they are in their graves. But now, alhamdulillah, we are still alive. So that's a blessing by itself. So the sincere intention, why do we need sincere intention? Because there's a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He states that إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. For actions are according to the intentions, and for every intention, وَلِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. It depends on what you have make the intention for. So this intention, is it intention for the cause of Allah Azza wa Jal? You get for the cause of Allah, you get the reward. Is it for the dunya? Then it's for dunya, nothing to do with Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's what we had in the history when you read about the war, the battles in which took place in the beginning of the Islam's in Medina. Some of those who were killed, they were not shuhada considered to be, because they came to the war to get the spoils of the war, or the bounties of the war, to get something out of the war. It wasn't purely for Allah Azza wa Jal. And we had munafiqin in Medina. We have Surah Al-Munafiqun.
Yes.
So there were people who were looking for interests and desires. And that's why they joined Islam, just by name, not by heart. So Allah wants from us sincere intention and pure hearts to be able to fast this holy month and as well to recite the holy book of Allah Azza wa Jal. There's a hadith again which says that when the one goes to the hereafter and in Qiyamah, when he is given the position of paradise, they would tell him, this individual who memorized the Quran, who read the Quran, they would tell him, read, recite, and elevate. اقرأ ورقة ومنزلك عند آخر آية تقرأها. And your last stage and phase in paradise is the last ayah in which you read it, you recite it, you memorized it. So imagine that the levels of paradise are huge, immense. So it depends on your amal. If you have read more Quran and recited and memorized more of those verses, your position would be higher and higher in paradise. اقرأ, read, warqa, and elevate. In another prophetic hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, with regards to the Quran, he says, Ya Salman, alayka bi qira'at al-Quran. So the Holy Prophet advises Salman, radiyallahu alayhi, this respected companion of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, he says, read and recite the Holy Quran. فإن, there are three benefits from reciting the Holy Quran. فإن قراءته كفارة للذنوب. So number one, it erases the sins. This is the first benefit of reciting the Holy Quran, especially in this holy month. كفارة للذنوب وستر من النار, and a shield against the fire. So it's a shield. This Quran, those verses that you've recited would be the shields against the fire. وأمان من العذاب, and immunity from the punishment. So you won't be punished because you have read the Holy Quran, especially in this holy month. Then the khutbah says, فإن الشقي من حرم غفران الله في هذا الشهر العظيم. For only a wretch is the one who is deprived from Allah's forgiveness during this great month. In other words, the one who does not benefit from all these bounties and blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal is a wretched individual. Somebody who is wretched, who has no means of receiving the mercy. He's not the person in which can receive Allah's mercy. He doesn't want. You know, some people in this holy month, you see them as they were in the past months. They are Muslims, but they still they commit the haram. I've seen some of them even they do not fast and they eat, you know, without any objection, and they just eat and drink in this holy month, and they are Muslims. Sadly, so those who disobey Allah Azza wa Jal, they don't fast, they don't pray, reject all these ahkam, and only are happy with the interest and the desires of this dunya, then of course they are wretched. You know, ash-shaqi, the one who does not gain and attain Allah's forgiveness in this holy month. This is opportunity. Let's go back to Allah Azza wa Jal. At least stop and quit some of those a'mal of haram to go back to Allah Azza wa Jal. Why not? We read in the book of Imam al-Askari alayhi salam, his tafsir al-Mansub Imam al-Askari alayhi salam, as mentioned. The Imam says with regard to the dunya, how shall we look at the dunya? In what method? In what way? He says, Salamullahi alayhi, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ الدُّنْيَا حُلُوُهَا وَمُرُّهَا حُلْمٌ. Know that this dunya, the sweetness and the bitterness of this dunya is a dream. So the Imam is giving some example like that. As we wake up from the dream and we face the reality, similar, when we leave this world and die, we just wake up. إِذَا مَاتُوا انْتَبَهُوا. If they die, they become aware of what's going on. Because the real life is in the hereafter. The actual, the genuine life is not here.
Yes.
Is in hereafter. But we can't really understand and comprehend for now.
Yeah, for now.
Then the Imam says, وَالْإِنْتِبَاهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ, and hence the awareness is in the Akhirah. Now we are, على كل حال, not being, unless if you're a mu'min and you have a strong belief in Allah Azza wa Jalla, and you try to buy as much as you can of the credits in the Akhirah. But in overall, this is the حال الدنيا, على كل حال. وَالْإِنْتِبَاهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ, the awareness is in the hereafter. After death, we wake up, sadly, you know. وَالْفَائِزُ مَنْ فَازَ فِيهَا, this is the point. And the winner is the one who wins in this dunya and in the hereafter. So he wins in this dunya by doing the good deeds, the a'mal al-salihah. He leaves this world with a blissful book of a'mal filled with hasanat. And of course he will win in the akhirah because he will get paradise. وَالْفَائِزُ مَنْ فَازَ فِيهَا وَالشَّقِي مَنْ شَقِيَ فِيهَا, and the one who becomes wretched in this dunya, wretched in the akhirah as well. So if you are, na'udhu billah, disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jal, then of course in the hereafter you are also the one who deserves to be in paradise, na'udhu billah. So we try inshallah in this holy month do our best in attaining Allah's Azza wa Jal's forgiveness, blessings and mercy, and also try to understand these lines from Ahlulbayt and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we don't leave this month, you know, by the Eid day, unless we have filled ourselves with all the bounties of Allah Azza wa Jalla it is given to us, and refraining and rejecting all these evil acts and haram in which would results in, na'udhu billah, Allah's displease, na'udhu billah.
I see, excellent. Shaykhna, my next question is perfume. Now, it is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to wear perfume, to smell good, to be clean and so forth, and to wear attar and things like that. When keeping a fast, are we allowed to use perfume? Are we allowed to use soap that has been perfumed? Moisturizers, which are perfumed as well. I mean, sometimes the smell can be overpowering. Sometimes you can taste the smell. Does this invalidate the fast or not?
Not at all. It is permissible for the one to use or to wear perfume. Rather, it is mustahab. We have a hadith in Kitab al-Kafi that they narrate that كان أبو عبد الله الصادق عليه السلام إذا صام تطيب بالطيب. When the Imam used to fast, he used to wear perfume, and he used to say, "Kana" means often.
Okay,
he used to wear perfume when he used to fast. ويقول, and he used to say, سلام الله عليه, الطيب تحفة الصائم. Wearing perfume is the gift for the one who is fasting. So it's the opposite. It doesn't invalidate, but rather it's mustahab and encouraged for the one who is fasting to wear perfume.
Fantastic.
And it's tuhfa, is a gift for the one fasting.
MashaAllah. Just a quick reminder to all our viewers that this is a live show. We do take in your questions. If you have any questions you'd like to send them via the WhatsApp, the email address, which is Ahkam SOS at Imam Hussein TV, or alternatively give us a call in the studio, +44 203 515 0199. Inshallah, me and the Sheikh will be able to discuss and answer your questions. Shaykhna, what is the ruling of a fasting person who breaks his fast because he doesn't think, or he won't be able to bear it until Maghrib time?
If he was in a desperate and critical condition, I think mentioned by one of the mas'ala previously that in this situation that he can break his fast. And according to Ayatollah Sistani, you only are allowed to drink, let's say, a cup of water, to the need, to the requirement. Half cup, full cup, it depends. Half loaf of bread, for example, to the amount required, and then you have to keep fasting all the day, the rest of the day, and then you make it up later as qada. So yes, if you're in extreme, as mentioned previously, thirst, extreme hunger, then you can break it, yes. But as I said, Ayatollah Sistani mentions that you have to make sure that you eat or drink to the minimum requirement, and you have to, as a precaution, keep fasting all day until Maghrib time, and then you do the qada after the holy month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Inshallah. Shaykhna, we have a question from one of our viewers, which is, does the use of a COVID vaccine invalidate the fast?
No, it doesn't. If you do and take this vaccine during the daytime of the month of Ramadan, it won't break your fast. No, there's no issue with it at all.
Okay.
You can take it while fasting, yes.
Shaykh, another question from one of our viewers, and that is, does the use of nose drops break the fast? They would like the opinion of His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah Sheikh Wahid Khurasani.
The Sheikh mentions that if this medicine or the nose drop reaches the throat through the nose by dropping, then it will invalidate the fast. So you have to make sure it doesn't reach the throat.
Okay. So it has to stay within the nasal area.
Exactly.
It goes too far up, which is the nose is connected to the throat at the back.
So if it reaches that, it will make the fast batil, and you have to do the qada afterwards.
Interesting.
Shaykhna,
you discussed beforehand for a pregnant lady that she has the option of fasting or not. But what about a mother who's breastfeeding her infant? Because obviously the fear of not eating can sometimes, she may not be able to produce enough milk or so forth to feed her child. So should she refrain from fasting? Should she fast? What's the hukm here?
Yes, indeed, it is permissible for her not to fast because of having the baby and breastfeeding. So she doesn't need to fast in this situation. That should be fine, and she make it up later after the holy month of Ramadan.
Shaykh, another question from one of our viewers from the WhatsApp, and that is there a qunut in al-Shafi prayer, as in when we do the Salat al-Layl, the 9th and 10th rakat? What is the ruling in regards to the qunut?
Some ulama mentioned that as a precaution you shouldn't recite or read the qunut in Shafi' only.
Okay.
In Salat al-Shafi' only. As a precaution, not to recite it. Some others said that there's no evidence for the being having the qunut within this specific salah. Ala kulli hal, what they would mention that ulama in overall that you can recite and read qunut in the Shafi' salah with the intention of raja al-matlubiyya, seeking nearness to Allah Azza wa Jal. In this situation, yes, you can. So that's fine.
I see.
It's just to have this intention that I do it because of Allah Azza wa Jal, because all mustahab. These are all mustahab. But of course, we can't add mustahab, something which is not mustahab or not mentioned in the salah, with the intention of being part of the prescribed mustahabbat, for example. So that's why they take precaution that maybe this is not added, or part of the Shafi' salah, the qunut. Then of course you can still make it with the intention of qurba, raja al-matlubiyya to Allah Azza wa Jal.
Inshallah.
That should be fine.
Shaykh, a final question from the WhatsApp, and mashallah, it's from a Sunni brother. Salam, I am a Sunni brother. I have a question. Would like to know if it is better to pray at the mosque with takbir or pray at home without takbir, without the imam of the jama'ah.
Well, of course, there are numerous ahadith mentioned that it's mustahab, number one, to pray inside the mosque, in the mosque, and number two, to pray in jama'ah.
Yes.
Very encouraged. And also they mentioned that there's a hadith which says that there's no salah for the one who is adjacent or neighbor of the mosque, illa fil masjid, unless he goes in prays inside the mosque. And that means the thawab would be less if he prays at home and he doesn't go to nearby mosque and prays there. So it is very encouraged, mustahab, for the one to go and pray inside the mosque. If it's jama'ah, of course, the jama'ah would be also mustahab to join the jama'ah, because there's countless thawab and reward for those who attend and pray the jama'ah. So of course, if the one can actually go there, especially in this holy month of Ramadan, maybe Dhuhr time or Maghrib time, if there's a nearby mosque, that would be great, because at least you revive this mosque by attending there. I know that situation now with pandemic is most of the centers are closed or half open. I don't know what's the situation now in other parts of the world, but in overall, it's encouraged if we can go pray for the prayers. That would be great, of course.
Inshallah. Thank you, Shaykhna. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the viewers for joining us. Inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow again at 6 p.m. on Imam Hussein TV for another show of Ahkam SOS. If you have a question you'd like to ask, and it can be on any topic, no topic is too silly or too taboo. It's our duty to find you your answers. Send in your questions via the WhatsApp, the email address, or give us a call, inshallah, tomorrow, 0203 515 0199. Inshallah, we'll see you all guys tomorrow. Have a very, very good iftar, and Sayyid Aman, inshallah, will be on at 7:15 p.m. after this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.